Just don't come back in until you hear that one. Yep.
Okay. I'd like to start out by proposing a scenario. Say you're walking out of a grocery store and an elderly woman is struggling to put away her groceries in her car. Raise your hand if you wouldn't hesitate to stop and help. Now raise your hand if you would think about helping and then actually decide to help or not. We all go through our days with joy and hope that you'll better yourself or someone else's life each and every day. You'd hope that someone would hold the door open for you or even offer you a seat on the bus ride like back to Victory when the bus is crowded and your feet are aching from walking all day. Let me explain just exactly what I mean with some more examples that I've encountered, and hopefully you can remember a time when you felt like you weren't shown respect, or a time that you just made the WTF face. In modern society, some people would say that respect is dead. Small gestures that people do to other people to show manners and etiquette are fading away. Most issues are arising from parents not teaching kids why it's important to respect each other and show appropriate customs. This goes a long way. If one set of kids aren't taught manners, then they won't teach their kids, and if they never learn, the pattern just continues over and over. In a study conducted by the Associated Press of NORC Center for Public Affairs Research at the University of Chicago, the survey says that 74% of Americans believe that we have become more rude as a nation over the last several decades. This is a result of not passing it on over generations. It's a lost trait. People lose respect, and it's not something that we should all be proud of. For those who have girlfriends or even boyfriends, chivalry can go both ways. How many of you can honestly say you walked your girlfriend to her front door after a date, walked on the side closest to the street when walking on the sidewalk, or for any girl, or even held the door open for a random stranger just to show your kindness? It doesn't happen too often these days. Generation after generation, politeness and willingness to go out of one's way to help others has died out. People have become ruthless, caring only for themselves and no one else. It's more of an eat or be eaten type of world today. People today don't show that they have moral ethics that they abide by. It's not as common as it was years ago. This not only affects us as college students, but also the general public in the entire world. The other day, I was walking to car to go eat, and there was a disabled person on their little scooter, and he was trying to come out of the front door, because there's double doors and there's a bar in the middle. So he was coming out, but as he was coming out, there's another person trying to walk in. The guy that was walking in was on his phone, able to hold the door open, but he didn't. He walked in, let the door go, and the guy got stuck in between the door and the bar. And he couldn't help himself because he wasn't able to get up. And in a journal entry written by Erin M. Klein, professor at Georgetown University, she says that the ability to distinguish a pickle fork from an oyster fork may not have moral significance, but addressing people in the proper way certainly does. This appoints the proper way to approach any person with utmost respect, just as you'd hope people approach you. Kids will be kids, of course, but there comes a time in the early ages that manners need to be introduced as something that they need to abide by, or else they'll grow up with the wrong attitude towards people. Sometimes children need to be introduced to real-world concepts, or they won't learn, because they don't apply it to real-life situations until they're actually taught. Just like they won't learn to not touch your curling iron after it's been on for a while, until they actually burn themselves and realize, hey, that hurts. Teachers and school personnel expect manners and respect to be picked up at home. They don't associate themselves with that type of learned behavior. They think, hey, children should know not to hit others because it causes emotional pain and physical pain. It's common sense. What they don't understand is that children don't develop certain cognitive traits until they are around 6 to 7 years old. One of the most famous people that have provided their theories and have had great evidence to back them up is Jean Piaget. According to his research, kids don't actually connect feelings and emotions until 7 or 8. It's simple connections that aren't interpreted very well on their own. In an article published by Barbara Blake and Tamara Pope, the two stated that in today's society there is a disagreement among researchers and educators as to the role of developmental psychology and its application in the elementary classrooms. This statement has so far been on the proven side based on kids not learning manners at an early age. If manners are introduced, it's a topic that will grow on children people are led by example, and this is a major example that most people abide by. In another journal entry written by Mary Robinson and Adriana Cracian, the authors state, as the prevailing characteristics of polished life take their impression from example held forth by persons of exalted rank in society. If you let your kids grow up reckless, they most likely will not show remorse or be sorry for their actions. Children should be introduced to manners and etiquette in or around the pre-K kindergarten age, and just shown repeatedly throughout the rest of their school life until they understand, hey, manners are something that are needed in life. Imagine a world where people always held doors open when they're in close range. Imagine having someone help your son or daughter pick up his or her papers after his or her backpack ripped open instead of just walking by. Imagine if the bystander effect never existed and people just took action when they saw something wrong. People disrespect each other all the time. Sometimes people even use it as a form of humor. Children are fearful of school because they're scared to see the kids that usually pick on them on the playground or make fun of them in front of the whole class. You can take action against this by just teaching any student you see or any person you see that's acting out, just teach them right from wrong. Don't scold them, just, hey, this is right from wrong, this is what you should do, this is what you shouldn't do. And just show kindness each and every day, just as you expect from anyone else. Thank you.